What is up, Goat World? It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another Goat format video. The PWCQ 34 has just completed and the spice is in. With me, as always, back from a long hiatus, I have my captain, my co-shipmate on this SS Spice, Mrs. Puys is in the building. Certified Spice Lord is in the building. How you feeling, Puys? Are you ready to do this?
I am so ready. This was an awesome top 8.
I love it. I love it. So let's hop on in. Like we said, we have 46 participants. 46 of some of the best Goat format duelists showed up to this event, and they brought it out last week. The last PWCQ number 33 was bereft of anything that I would even describe as spice. But the Spice Lords are back in town for this one, and we're gonna hop right into it with the number 8. Number 8. We have certified Spice Lord back in the building. Alessia II electing to bring this really cool, super dope, extra spicerific zombie deck. Okay, Alessia II had to drop from this event. He was not feeling too well. He could have actually gone a little bit further in this event, but he had to kind of step down, and he was playing this really cool zombie deck. Puys, what are your first initial thoughts looking at this super aggro anti-duo zombie deck?
It's wonderful. I love it so much. And it's like literally just what you said. Like basically he took Delinquent's deck, he took his brother's deck, and he's like, how do I make this just significantly more insane? And also never lose the Delinquent duo, since the deck doesn't plus a huge amount. So instead we have this crazy spicy meatball. I've watched multiple replays of this while trying to like get the deck list together just to like figure out what he was doing. And oh my god, if you play duo against this deck, you literally lose. Like, it doesn't even take the Despair from the Dark. He's got the Assailant, he's got the Serpent, the Regenerating Mummy. He wants most of his zombies in his graveyard, so you're kind of screwed if you play a duo. On top of that, beautiful technology here. We got the double Custon in the top left corner over there. Holy schmoly, it's a searchable 2 tribute for your Despair from the Dark or your Demot. Absolute work of genius. I love this deck so much, and I hope to keep seeing it stomp people.
I think it's really cool, and it's like you said, it's something to add to it. It's something to be built upon, because you have double cost, and you can't get the Book of Life. Book of Life to a double tribute seems like a powerful play. You're banishing cards from the graveyard. This deck seems very aggressive with a triple tribute to the Doom, pitches zombie, Book of Life it back, and then you can continue to assault your opponent. The Slate Warriors coming on in, the Seal, Mr. Kissed by a Rose himself, the Bald Wind Monster coming in as another flip monster. Another flip, you know, because that can engage with your Knight Assailant, getting more flips back to your hand, pushing with that beefy, bulky 1900 body. I think this deck is cool as hell, and I love it when the Spice Lords are in town. So what do you rate this deck on the Spice-a-tron, Puys? What are you giving this?
I'm gonna rate this like a good like a curry pepper. Pretty high Scoville. Spicy. Ouch, my tongue. Not gonna forget that one for sure.
Oh, okay. So this is Scoville. We got the Spice-o-meter, the Spice-a-tron. Very spicy. Okay, moving on to another Spice Lord in the building. Someone you guys might recognize. Someone you might know. I don't know who this duelist is, but apparently they're pretty good. We got 7th place. Puys is in the building playing the Zork Turbo. Puys, really? This is your deck. Please tell us about this deck. Tell us about how it perform for you. Again, if you can, please also look into the description. I have linked the Card Academy. Puys goes into amazing detail describing this deck and how she put it together and what she likes and dislikes about it. But just tell us about this deck, any changes you made for the event, and how it performed for you, and what changes you would make going forward for this Zork Turbo.
Absolutely. So I'm definitely not going to give the 305 lecture on this thing right now, here and then, because you can check that out in the description below. But I'll just say that for the context of this event, because of that video, I wanted to change up the deck a little bit. So I decided to side 2 Fates for all the folks who thought I would take out Knock. Then I ended up taking out 1 Jar, putting a Dust Shoot in the main, and then taking out 1 Walk. It just wasn't needed that day. The deck performed really, really well. I just think I wasn't very lucky in my Warrior matchups. I'm siding pretty heavily for Warrior, but I just wasn't siding heavily enough, so it was a shame. Love this deck. I think it could go a lot of directions, a lot of places. I think it's legitimately good. I'm going to rate it like a refined saffron flavor.
A refined saffron? Oh.
Refined saffron flavor.
I would give this deck like a nice nutmeg cinnamon. I think it's a good spicy deck because it can do it's got a nice rich spice flavor to it. So this is a a very, very spicy deck, Puy, and I like what you got going on. Certified Spice Queen is back doing her thing, topping this event with a cool deck. I love it, Puy. So again, make sure you guys get to the Card Academy, check it out, see what Puy's doing. She's always in the lab making it happen, making some cool decks and doing some cool stuff. Shout out to Puy. All right. Moving on. Oh my goodness.
Here we
this
go.
Deck
Here we go.
right
I'm
here,
so excited.
this one right here. Oh, Chef Kids, Danji Boss coming all the way from the Italian country of Italy. You know, Italy is going to save GOAT format. I've said that several times. But Danji Boss is coming out with this Earth Cat Will Trunade. Man, oh man, this deck seems powerful and potent. I did catch a couple of replays. This duelist was absolutely smoking people. Puy, what do you think about this deck? This deck seems spice heaven.
Yeah, this is amazing. I gotta tell you, you're calling my deck the cinnamon and nutmeg, but I think this is the cinnamon and nutmeg deck. Hear me out here, right?
Okay.
Because those things in moderation, it's like, okay, I can handle this. It's pretty nice. You ever done the cinnamon challenge? Yeah. This deck is a spoonful of cinnamon because it's just gonna shove these brown monsters with their brown attribute down your throat until you are absolutely suffocating. I've watched matches. I thought he had no right of winning. I've seen him put like 84 damage on the board through Gravekeeper's Spies. It's absolutely insane. The combination of Gigantus with a bunch of Milas Radiance. This is the Milas deck. And I'm going to go and say it. This is what Aggro Bomb looks like. This is Aggro Bomb in GOAT format. Absolutely. And it's absolutely beautiful.
And I've theory ideas about this with Shaggy Powers and other Earth aggro users. Shaggy Powers is a very good Earth aggro player. And I believe that this deck needs to go this way. Maybe you can add more burn cards. Maybe you can add this cat stuff, this last will stuff, because it can get very aggressive super duper fast. And like you said, put up a lot of numbers real quick on you and then just end these games fast. So jumping into the side deck, I see they got the Cyber Jar in there. They got triple brain control in there. They got, you know, some other traps and stuff, but this deck is solid. I think this deck could potentially fit Cyber Stein into the main deck. Yeah. Last Will into Stein is always going to be a power play, especially with those Trinades and everything like that. But maybe they did the analysis. What do you think about that triple Minecon in the main deck? Yeah,
so the triple Minecon, that's the one thing I was thinking here. I think that's a little too much when we need our monster slots. I'd go 2 and a knock. I get that Minecon can get rid of face-up monsters, but if they have 2 sets and you have 2 Minecons and all of a sudden you can't put presence on the field, you're going to wish one of those was knock real bad. On top of that, I think that's Giant Rat belongs somewhere in the 55 just to make the Warrior matchup a little more pleasant. You know, usually cat decks are playing their Floodgates. This certainly has a good amount of beat sticks, but he did end up falling to Warrior in the end, and I think Rat would have helped a lot.
Awesome. I agree. So tell us what you think about this deck, this spicy Earth beat deck with cats and Last Will. I think it's really cool. This is one I would check out if you're interested in this kind of thing. Okay, moving on to number 5. 5th place, we have Anthony Alvarado, prominent all-star Yu-Gi-Oh player. He has topped so many times. This duelist is extremely consistent.
Love him.
Electing to go back to the Chaos Turbo strategy, but this duelist decided to do it his own unique way, electing to go with 4 GK monsters, bringing that Gravekeeper's Guard in and reducing some of the other flips. There's no Decoiches to be found in this entire 55 cards. Puy, looking at this deck, what are your initial thoughts when you see this GK Tsukiyomi spellcaster type turbo deck?
So at first when you look at this, it just looks like your average turbo snooze fest, but if you're really paying attention, that GK guard and that second Tsuki are making all the difference here. This is a deck designed to slog it out as hard as it can with the other turbo decks while having additional defense and answers against Warrior with those same 2 cards. If you think that you can outplay your opponent in slow, drawn-out, big-ass, complicated game states, this is your kind of deck right here, because this is that deck that can go the distance if you make those smart plays. You can recur your assailant to destroy monsters. You can recur the spy to put up even more defense. You can recur the guard to start bouncing their monsters too. You've got the 3 solemn to put them where it counts, to destroy and disrupt whatever's going to really break your board over until you can really maintain that control. This is not a turbo. This is very much a control deck, and I really like how he drew it up.
Okay, okay. And Alvarado is a solid player. He had a huge warrior plan in the side deck, but just looking at that main deck, I would say not having access to Mirror Force, not having access to that Torrential Tribute, going into those game ones in this meta, in this event was very aggressive. It was a counter, you know, Return of the Sith. This was a counter to the previous PWCQ, which was very turbo centric.
Absolutely.
This one was very aggressive, and not having that defense probably slowed this duelist down ever so slightly. But in that side deck, it is built for aggression. You know, triple Zumbira coming in. You got 1 Berserker Gorilla, 2 Kaikus, 2 Sakura's Armor, and the Mirror Force coming on in. I think this deck is really cool. And like you said, if you got the skills, and this duelist definitely has the skills to play a deck like this, I think it can just grind. It can just grind. It's built to grind, and he can do his thing. So I like it. Tell us what you think about it out there. If you're watching this, tell us what you think about it. But what we rating this spice wise? What is the Spice-a-tron giving you on this one?
I don't know. Old Bay seasoning. It tastes good, but it's just a combination of stuff we've seen before.
Okay, yeah, maybe I give it maybe like some Thousand Island or something, Thousand Island dressing, maybe like some Old Bay, maybe like a little paprika. This is paprika. I give it some paprika. You know, I give it some paprika for the spice, but still solid. You know, solid stuff. All right, moving on to number 4. Number 4, we have Swan coming on in, playing the warrior strategy. Again, as I stated before, this PWCQ was chock full of all types of aggro decks to counterbalance the chaos turbo takeover that happened in PW34.
Warrior.
Return of the Warrior is the year that we're in. So Swan elected to do that, playing the warrior strategy. This seems like a very clear-cut warrior deck. I mean, nothing really to take home looking at it. You know, he elected to go back with the main deck, Book of Moon. He elected to have another Book of Moon in the side deck. Amazon is Archer, 2 Spy, 2 Mobius, 2 BrainCon. I think that's kind of cool, and 1 Zinger. What do you think about this deck? Is there anything that jumps off the page to you, Puy, looking at this warrior deck?
It's got the 3 Kaikus. It knows its meta. It knows its crowd. It's playing the Mystic Swordsman in the main. I think this could even get away with playing the second Sasuke if it wanted to.
Yeah.
But I got to play against him. I almost had to play against him twice, but I ended up losing out to someone higher up on this list. He plays really solid. It's really great, but I'm going to have to call this one table salt. Table salt.
So we got some salt. We got our first salt of the day, you know what I'm saying? Double salt, because Puy, you know what I'm saying, had to admit defeat to this duelist, I believe. But, you know, it is what it is. Again, but it's a solid warrior deck. So if you're just getting to go for maybe trying to find a solid warrior deck, maybe check this one out. Maybe check out what Swan is doing. Shout out to Swan. Shout out to the Virginia squad, you know. But this is definitely maybe some tasting salt, maybe some seasoning salt, maybe some pepper, something like that. Very, very regular. All right, moving on. We have third place. We have a new duelist that I don't know at this moment. We have Wolf, number 73, coming in with the Chaos Turbo deck. Pretty kind of standard Chaos Turbo deck, but they did elect to splash in the main deck Lightning Vortex, which kind of jumps off the table at me right away. Side deck also looks pretty standard too by today's standards. Puy, this seems like a turbo deck. What are we thinking about this turbo deck?
I'm going to call this one kosher salt.
Kosher salt.
It's salt. It's just normal ass salt, but it still has an air of fanciness. I want to turn your attention to that Jinzo in the side. I just want to turn your attention to the side in general. No wonder he got this far. Look at this side against Warrior. We got, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 12 cards for Warrior in this side deck. And Lightning Vortex in the main. I don't want to be a warrior player playing against this thing. I don't know what magic was worked for the next 2 players to have beaten this player, but this thing is going to kill warrior all day. Okay. Just all day.
And I agree with you 1,000,000%. And this duel, I believe, is taking some of the Ghost Rider tricks, because Ghost Rider does that. He notoriously sides, you know, several cards for the warrior matchup. It is your worst matchup.
It's what you have to do. So it's a bad matchup.
It's what you should do. But I'm just electing to go with, hey, everybody else, you try to beat me, I'm just going to Lightning Vortex your ass, and then warrior players, you figure it out. But I think it's a cool deck. It is a turbo deck featuring Lightning Vortex, heavy warrior side. It might be the meta. It might be good. We'll see. Tell me what you think about it. We're gonna say kosher salt. I like kosher salt. That's what those will be. Shout out to Wolf though, and also shout out to all the new duelists who are playing in these events. I haven't seen Wolf show up. Hopefully they keep coming back and continue to have great success. Come on back in, Wolf. We want to see what you got next. Show your moves. All right, moving on. But this duelist is no stranger to topping and winning and being consistent and doing his absolute thing. We have SJC champion, FLC champion, GOAT format champion. We have La Bounty playing the patent pending warrior strategy as he often does. Back on 3 Kaikos, still rocking that main deck Magician of Faith and electing to go with double trap does shoot. I think that's a little spice that this duelist is kind of added. I've seen so many duelists playing Magician of Faith, it is just driving me insane. But tell us what you think about this deck, Puy. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about what Jonathan La Bounty is doing with this warrior deck?
You know, this is another duelist I had to play against and was defeated by. Just didn't see the card stack up. I'd want to call this rock salt, but I gotta be honest, that Magician of Faith and also that evacuation device in the side, those cards hurt me. They injured me. They battered this poor woman into the ground. Personally, it was horrifying. It was a horror show. It was a massacre of my soul. I was not expecting it. They came in right where it hurt. He's maining mind control just to make the turbo suffer a little extra. He's got a magic cylinder just to make the warrior suffer a little extra. This deck's just got strange stuff all over the damn place. It's awesome.
Yeah, we might have to bump the bounty up from rock salt. He needs to be something like. I think this might have to be a nice.
I think he's onion powder.
This might be or garlic powder. I was gonna say garlic powder. This is it's still kind of common, but garlic powder it'll kick up the dish a little bit. This is some good garlic powder because this duelist is rocking soul release in the side deck. Like you said, he's got a compulsory evacuation device in the side deck. We are back in triple solemn judgment meta, so this duelist is playing the magic cylinder coming on in the side deck. So it is very cool, very dope. Smashing ground, patent pending, La Bounty smashing ground in the sideboard coming on in. And as you stated, that mind control being in the main deck was probably going crazy yesterday as well. So it's very cool deck, and also a fantastic player. You know, he absolutely knows how to put him down. Make sure you get over there and check that stream in its entirety. We had a nice long feature of following La Bounty through that entire process. He wasn't able to win it.
He thought he was gonna lose. He thought he was gonna do terribly yesterday.
But we followed him all the way through, and he made a great run. So that was really cool seeing how he could play that deck.
Really.
But now we go on to our winner, and no stranger to winning these events. We have first place Luke as the Heretic, also playing the warrior strategy. So the year of the warrior is in. It appears the meta has shifted back to the warriors doing their absolute thing. But this warrior deck was teched and specified specifically to go after those turbo decks. It appears with triple trap does shoot, but he has to have the double zinger in the main with the Jar of Greed.
The double zinger.
And he's got the triple Kaiku and no Magician of Faith, no flips in the main deck for this warrior player. Puy, what do you tell us about this deck? Tell us about Lucas the Heretic and what he was able to put together in this event.
So at the start, I was just confused by this. Why you're playing any Jar of Greeds before Upstart Goblin? I think it's you though who pointed this out to me. You set the zinger, you set the jar. If they set only one card, you go zinger chain your own jar. Ooh. Their thing's locked down, your thing's already gone. It's good stuff. You know, the deck's pretty much on the salt level, but you gotta respect the tech. You gotta respect the zinger. It's like Royal Decree Light. It's beautiful. And it really worked out for him. So congrats, Lucas.
And then
on another good one.
And also, I think Zinger, what it does, it forces your opponent to respect that card no matter what.
To make bad plays.
They have to play around it. They change their whole game up because they do not want to fall upon the whimsical effects of that Zing Zang Hoo. So they're going to start doing some weird stuff, and then you're fine with that. You're fine with that. So I think that's a powerful card. I do have an autographed version of, again, from this duelist. He signed my Zing Zang, who I have an autographed sign.
That was your signed card from him? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it. He created this card. You know, I give him full responsibility for the creation and proliferation of this card. But checking that side deck, he's on triple spy, double Mobius, one brain con in the side deck with the compulsory technology as well, along with Dust Tornado, another Sakuretsu, and a Wide Spirit Room with a little Clifford sitting over there. So he just
secret card of the day.
That might be the spicy tech of the week. A little compulsory evacuation device, probably putting in for your ass to send that Zork out of there. But this is it. I like this deck. I like what he's got going on. Again, it's not just going to be the cards. It's going to be the player. And these duelists absolutely know how to put them down in the right order and get the absolute Dublinskis. So for you at home, tell us what your favorite deck was. Tell us what you think about these events. Get down in the comment section. We want to hear from you. Also, again, make sure you get over to the Card Academy. Academy. Check out what Puys doing. She's doing some fantastic stuff over there in the GOAT format space, in the Yu-Gi-Oh space, in the Edison space, in the Magic the Gathering space, all those spaces. So go check out what she's doing. It's some great stuff.
Thank you.
But anything else you want to say, Puys, before we set sail and head this thing on out?
Zork Goo best deck.
Zork Goo best deck. Zork Control. Zork Turbo best deck. Okay, well, you heard it from Puys. Go try it out. Let us know what you think. All right, as always, I'm JDZ. Until the next time, shout out to all the real ones. That's all of you. Shout out to all the salute to the OGs. Peace.
This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.